And we are live. Hey guys,
Cool.
Archangel Mangi here, and welcome to mine and Son Wukong's review of the first episode of Mushishi's Zoku show. Wukong introduce yourself, say hello to all my subscribers. Glad to have you.
What's up, everyone? Son Wukong here, chilling with Archangel Manga, one of my favorite YouTubers, and we're about to do officially kick off our collaboration series.
We are live.
Oops.
Hey guys,
Cool.
Archangel Mangi here. Completely forgot to mute my YouTube video there, but that's no problem.
I was wondering what that was. Yeah. Okay.
Seriously, man, every time I do a live stream, that gets me every time. I completely forget to mute the audio on the actual YouTube.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a minor thing, really. At least neither of our mics are muted. So yeah, we're basically just going to discuss the contents of the episode, analyze it, see what we liked about it or disliked. I don't know what Wukong's opinion on this episode is yet, and he doesn't know what my opinion is on it. So it'd be pretty interesting to talk about between each other, bounce a few ideas across. So yeah, this episode, personally, I thought was on the weak side. I don't know
I
what you
I
thought.
agree. I agree completely, actually. I was feeling just kind of a bit lackluster for Mushishi, like Mushishi is always mind blowing to me, and this was just very, very average. But it worked still. I think it still worked. But
Yeah, I mean the story elements of the episode made sense. It
yeah,
connected all the dots, between the main characters, his lifestyle, and the job that he has with the Mushi, and how that all connects, and how the Mushi kind of affect his lifestyle. But there wasn't really much melodrama in it, or any sort of
just a very
development of
it,
you
it
know.
wasn't a very impressive episode. I thought it was really that the episodic, character that we had this episode, the Sake Brewmaster.
Mm,
He was just kind of I wasn't really feeling his character, to be quite
yeah,
honest.
me too. I mean,
I was just like, this guy,
there was
why isn't he saying anything? Why you gotta be all shady in front of the people like this? Like, open your mouth and specify what's going on, like. Uh, Other than that, dude, let before we get into it, can we just talk about that new opening song? Because
oh yeah.
that that is incredible.
I really enjoyed that. It's nice and
Yeah,
mellow,
dude.
just like the first one, but now we've got like a woman singing, and it sounds really nice.
Right, right. It's so good. Like, here's the thing. I didn't, because, like you said, the first one, that song is amazing, and I really love that song. I thought they would do something like, kind of like Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho-esque, where they just run with the same opening through the
Mm.
entirety. So I was so surprised to get this new one, and it was actually so good. I was just like,
It was.
yes, this is
It was. I really
amazing.
like the acoustic guitar as well. I'm glad they kept that same vibe, that same relaxed vibe, and the visuals as well for the opening are really reminiscent of the first series. But now, instead of everything being all yellow and green, it's now all like blue and ocean like. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I really like that touch, and just the vocals and everything just sound really, really nice and relaxing. Really gets you into the series. So I was very impressed with
Definitely.
that. Because I think when we watched the OVA, I don't think that had an opening, did it? I can't remember.
No, there was no. If there was, it was definitely the old one, but I don't think there was.
I don't think there was.
So
I don't really
yeah.
remember. Yeah, the opening was really good. What's it called? Shiver or something like that?
Yeah, Shiver by Lucy Rose, dude. I
Yeah.
got I gotta check out her music because I don't know
Yeah.
how.
Yeah. See if she's ever done any other anime soundtracks, or if it's just that song exclusively that
I
they.
think it's just that song exclusive. But she's a very, very very highly vaunted recording artist though. She has a couple of albums out there,
Oh,
and she has a
all
pretty
right.
big following. Yeah.
I've never heard of her before, so you know.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of her before. I hadn't heard of Ali Kerr before either until this. But
Mm.
Lucy Rose is actually a British singer, so
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
she's
I
pretty.
could tell instantly. It sounds really contemporary, like something that you would definitely hear on the radio these days.
Yeah.
Here in the
Mhm.
UK, it did have a real UK vibe to it, whereas the first song sounded more like a like an American singer.
Mhm.
I can't remember the name of the song, but it sounded more like 60s sort of hippie
It was
American.
like the Sore Foot song or the Sore Feet song, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
something like that. But yeah, you're right, man. The OP was really good. Just totally matched.
Yeah, but I just wanted to throw that out there, and that was probably my favorite part of this first episode of Zoku Show. Don't get me wrong though, it was a good episode in terms of certain little things that it did for the series overall for me, but just in terms of this standalone episodic, like you wanna break it down what kind of took place this episode?
Yeah, I really liked how they incorporated the whole Mushishi banquet. You know, all the Mushi masters getting together, and but it was. I mean, it wasn't really too well defined as to why they were meeting up together. It just seemed like one of those things that they do it now. You know, every now and again to kind of basically combine knowledge, swap ideas. You know, trade. You can see like a few people like selling things, and there was that whole thing with the whole light vein.
Yeah,
And using,
replenishing the Koki and everything like that. That was probably what I think they were really doing there. But the biggest thing for me with that gathering, because it was really cool. Up to this point, we hadn't seen, many other Mushi, outside of Ginkgo and a handful of others. So to see like a big gathering of them, I was just like, yo, like this really is such an expansive trade. And we've never really seen, too much of their inner workings together and everything like that. And what really got me was that dude that Ginkgo was talking to at the end. I believe his name was Izaza or something like that.
yeah.
I hope this Mushishi is a recurring character when we see him again because he seems badass on that Ginkgo level, and I want to see what he's gonna do.
He had that stare in his eye when you just see him turn around and you just see like the profile image of his face.
Yeah.
Kind of like it kind of insinuated that that there's something more to him, or like you say, he might be a recurring character, so he might be more important. And for the fact that we also get to know his name, like we
exactly
the names of the other Mushishi, so they made a real point of him by Ginkgo, the main character, stating his name Isaza, and then we see him that just that full on face from him, the profile.
yeah. And he seemed to have more information than even Ginkgo about the light vein, it seemed, because Ginkgo was kind of asking him what the state of affairs is at that stage, and he's kind of telling about it. And the look on Ginkgo's face looked kind of, I don't even know, it's a weird face. I've never seen it make that before, dude. It was almost like a bit agitated in some way, dude.
I don't remember that. I'd have to go back and watch that particular part. I mean, I obviously do remember, them introducing him, and it seemed like he maybe was the kind of person who gathered all the Mushi together to perform this ritual. I was actually kind of confused with the episode and what relevance the sake actually had.
Oh, dude, do you not remember so the Koki has been used in multiple episodes, but I thought it was interesting that this being the first episode of second season, the very first episode of first season is when we first heard about Koki, because you remember that grandmother, she drank the golden sake and everything and became a child spirit. Yeah.
I thought I had some kind of connection to that, but because it's been so long since I've seen that episode, that's actually one of my favorite episodes of the first season. I just couldn't remember exactly the dynamics of what that liquid did and why it was being used and why it was so valuable. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons as well why I felt this episode is quite lackluster, because I would have liked a little bit of exposition to kind of remind me.
Yeah, they definitely assume that you just know, because that's probably why I found the episode so interesting, is because I remembered that tie and like the significance of the light vein to various things. Like we've seen it time and time again, so to see it crop back up, especially with this first episode, it almost makes me think that Artland kind of took liberties and kind of rearranged certain chapters so this could be like the very first episode of the second season.
Quite possibly. Maybe they're hoping to mirror certain events from the first season, maybe put them in an order where it kind of corresponds, with the episodes of the first season. Who knows? But it's difficult to tell at this point because obviously it's only the first episode. But like we've been saying in the live stream we did with the OVA, I definitely would like to see more recurring characters from the first season become more prominent in this season as well, and get basically just like updates from some of the episodes that we saw last time. Like, especially with the episodes where the characters are so well developed in the short space of time. This just wasn't one of those episodes. Nothing was melodramatic. There was no negative effect.
Yeah, it was the episodic. It was the guy, man. It was really just this sake brewer, because everything, like his father, I thought it was cool that he encountered these Mushishi in the past and he drank some of the Koki and he had no idea what it was. And I also really thought that the fact that he brewed actual sake with these, the nectar and everything, and somehow these specific type of Mushishi got blended in there, and you can see Mushishi by drinking this sake. I thought that was really cool, and hearing Ginkgo talk about the practical applications for that I was like, yo, that's awesome. Like, if you just keep a bottle of that around, so, a lot of cases in the past, we've seen people that, you know, just because the majority of people couldn't see the Mushishi, it was harder to solve the problem. So having something like that around is actually, if it persists, is actually pretty interesting. But
Yeah,
that's pretty much all he does for me. He's a pretty lackluster character. He's just
yeah. I mean, I think he was there mostly as a plot device to, you know, to have this, what do you call it? This Koki be, you know, another prominent feature in an episode.
right.
He wasn't the kind of character you could invest emotionally into. He was just there to kind of push that story along, and basically there to, you know, basically so we could see all these other Mushishi, and you know, have a reason for some other sort of human creation to be potentially put out into the world, so other people can see these Mushi, because that was another threat, and Ginkgo was warning him, you know, you might not want to sell this officially, because
Right.
good for your business, if people are drinking sake and have these, you know, quote unquote
Hallucinations, dude. I mean, that's what people are gonna think. Like, imagine if you
exactly.
bought a bottle of sake and you just saw all these strange creatures. You know, you'd be like, "What is this? What did I just buy?"
It's
So,
bought some weird sake from the local drug dealer. That's the thing. That's what will be going around, and that's just definitely something he doesn't want for his business. So
yeah,
I
I mean,
on that, you know, in that respect.
if
But
I
then,
knew they were Mushi, I'd probably want it though. To be honest, if I knew about the existence of Mushi and I just couldn't see them, I'd probably drink it just to check them out.
yeah,
But
likewise.
yeah,
But then, what was I going to say? I thought it was also interesting that Ginkgo put the word out to other Mushishi that there is somebody out there creating this sake, and you know, every once in a while, you know, they get these mysterious customers coming to buy only that particular type of sake. So he does have, like, you know, I guess you could say he's moonlighting as a manufacturer of, you know, this fake Koki. You know,
yeah. I mean,
there are interesting parts of this episode, but
just a lot of small bits and just the general exposition that it has, you know, kind of with the Koki and the light vein, just kind of building on that foundation. I really like that aspect. I like the introduction of the other Mushishi. But this character, his whole thing with his father is like, basically, I want to, like, it was cool, you know, I want to keep up the family sake brewery, and I want to, you know, master my father's sake and brew this special golden sake that he had. Like, it was admirable and everything like that, but he just seemed like such a bumbling character to me. Like, the only scene I really like him in was the final scene where he's just sitting on his rooftop and he's drinking the sake that he made. He's looking at all the mushi in the area. I was
yeah,
like, yeah, this is that kind of mysterious, beautiful air to Mushishi that I love, and I felt that was lacking in this episode.
yeah.
But
I noticed as well, like the animation for the actual Mushishi themselves is like really stepped up. And Outland, I mean,
yeah,
I mentioned this even in the OVA, but I'm really glad that in the actual series as well, the animation is steps up,
the
because
animation quality is really nice. I thought that the only thing was the backgrounds in this episode, and I think that was just a product of them being like outdoors and the light vein shining. So there was oftentimes like this kind of green palette that was just coating the entire background, and we didn't see any specific objects and stuff like that. But other than that, it was beautiful across the board.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. And you know,
Yeah.
Outlander is doing such a fantastic job with this series, even more so than they did with the first season. You know,
Hmm.
we wouldn't be able to praise them enough for, you know, the job that they're doing. And again, you know, it's something that's underrated, but overall, it needs to be watched. So, you know, if any of you guys are watching, all three of you, I think, but you know, if you're watching this in the future, then seriously go and check out Mushishi. It's absolutely amazing. You know, I can
Never.
watch that, and so can my boy Son Wukong right here.
It's definitely my top five favorite anime. I have to say, it's definitely in my top five.
Absolutely. Have you actually seen anything similar to this? Because I heard things like Kino's Journey, and there's like nothing.
Kino's, I've seen Kino's Journey. I really love Kino's Journey. It has a similar air to it, but Mushishi's kind of stands alone. Like, when I think of Mushishi, the only things I can compare to it are things that kind of have like yokai or demons or anything of the like in there. So, like, the Monogatari series is something that comes to mind when I think of Mushishi, simply because of that aspect. Like, I've always in my mind envisioned doing a crossover between that and Mushishi just by myself. That'd be really fun.
Yeah,
But
as you know, I need to get into the Monogatari franchise as it is. We are slowly getting the DVD box sets over here, so you know, I
yeah.
would love to see something that's very similar to Mushishi, and I would
Mm.
like to check out something like Natsume's Book of Friends, or as you
I
say,
have I have yet to watch that. I've been meaning to. I've heard. great things.
I heard it's really similar to Mushishi in that whole,
Yeah.
astral beings and, as you say, yokai and things like that.
Yeah.
I think it's something to do with that. But yeah, I really need to start watching things that similar to this series because, unless it's just one of a kind, that
I know.
really
It's
does.
just, I think it does just stand alone like that in a certain sense. Like just the way the stories are told and the air of the series, it's so unique to me. I don't think, I mean, I think probably Natsume is probably the closest thing you're gonna get.
Quite
When I
possible.
really think about it, yeah, it's probably the closest thing you're gonna get.
I mean,
But
we might not have seen this particular episode because, as you like any episodic series can be, episodes are hit and miss. Not every single episode is going to be fantastic, but
yeah, even in the first season, there were some episodes that I wasn't really too fond of.
Exactly, absolutely.
Not that they're, it's not like they're bad in terms of the animation quality and everything like that. It's still a solid episode, but just for me, I know that they have better stories.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely,
and I'm looking forward to those, man. I just watching the episode last night, I was just like, I wish like I was watching this so long ago. Like I was just like, Mushishi, I can't believe every time I don't watch it and then I watch another episode, I'm like, I love this series. I want to watch more. But at the same time, it's something where you can't actually watch that much at one time. So
yeah, and I'm so looking forward to watching it next week.
yeah,
how we're doing it, guys. The episode reviews that we're doing, obviously each of us are going to review an episode every week, hopefully every week anyway. Sometimes in real life stuff kind of gets in the way of things, so maybe a week or we'll be skipped every now and then from either me or Wukong, but basically we're just going to be kind of bouncing it between each other, volleying it like the game of tennis. Like he does an episode on his channel, I do an episode on my channel, but they're all going to be in one playlist or two playlists, one on my channel and one on his channel. So you'll be able to see basically a chronological rundown of each review on both of our channels. So yeah, overall, have you got any final thoughts on this episode?
Overall, I mean, I don't know. Are we going to be scoring these episodes or?
I don't really have a rating system.
Yeah, I don't really use that anymore. I used to back in the day, but overall, I would say that for me, it was just so good to get into the second season of Mushishi. Ultimately, that's what this episode meant to me. And getting that new opening song, being back with Ginkgo, seeing the kind of the development they're trying to put in with the world, I enjoyed the episode, but nowhere near one of my favorite Mushishi episodes.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with those points. We didn't go into the second season with a bang like we did in the first season, but needless to say, it's adapted directly from the manga, as Son Wukong told me in the OVA live reaction we did. So if it's written by Urushibara herself, then we can just only hope that it's going to be absolutely amazing, in the coming episodes. So yeah, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. As and when you watch this. Thanks for joining me, man. It's been really good.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And I'm gonna send you some stuff over Twitter real quick.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
All right.
So yeah, episode 2 on Son Wukong's channel next week. Go ahead and check that out. So catch you guys in a bit. See you later.
Peace.